Alright, first of all, I want to say that my lake trip was a success. I even got a little sunburn on a couple of areas I missed with my sunscreen. Overall, really fun. Would do again, 10/10. You know, I'm still not sure what to do about this channel or how I will structure things, and that's personally really annoying for me, but I just gotta deal with it. Like, I'm pretty sure I can always restructure it. Like, it's a learning experience, and then I can shove it. I can't possibly organize SE videos I don't even know I'm gonna create. Organize later. Thoughts and tangible products first. Yeah. I think I will be creating these not podcast like videos to work out my thoughts so I can later put out a more organized video with, visual supports and stuff. And yeah, anyways, so I've been thinking on SI and I similarities and trying to understand them so I could figure out sister layer Fi and Ti, and then the layer above them, introverted function as a whole, and so forth. The onion never ends. Personally, as of right now, like I don't think Ni and Ne are as similar as they're made out to be. Like I think Si and Ni may be closer, and Ne Se are closer rather than Ne and I or Se. Like verdicts out on that. I need to flesh out this train of thought before I can make a judgment on whether I'm full of baloney or not. And anyways, SI, based on my experiences and understanding, is ordering the NE, trying to control the when, where, and how of NE. And I, based on my own understanding and experiences, is ordering of SE, trying to control the when, where, and how of SE. Now, both functions see control. Both functions want things to be predictable. SI wants sensory predictability, and I want conceptual predictability. However, after stabilizing, then the Ni or Si will then start inviting in the Se and Ne chaos. But it's always in a very small and controlled manner. Like the fourth function in general just often manifests as like very minute areas of control. Like for example, like an SI dom may prefer to take their coffee like a specific way each morning. Like there's an obvious syncopation to this. Like this may manifest as wake up, make coffee, get ready, take coffee to go, or whatever their routine is. Like there's a set rhythm it's done in. And then after this routine is established, SI DOMs may then explore in a very controlled way, like the creamer they like best, or like the coffee bean they prefer, or even the mug that the coffee is poured in. But like rarely would you see all of these factors at one time, like an EMP would. Like it's very controlled, one variable at a time. And IDOMs, on the other hand, may also have a similar routine, but unlike S-IDOM's ritualistic rhythm, NIDOMs care more about like that the general idea is met, so the ritual is more conceptual. This may manifest as like drinking something caffeinated from the time of waking up to clocking in at work. Like the SC, like the caffeinated beverage in this case, would not really be important. Like it could be coffee, tea, energy drink, like whatever. It's a conceptual routine that's important. Like the Yanidom may start off drinking coffee if that's what's immediately available to them, but once the Yanidom determines that this routine is worth keeping, they may start to replace the coffee with like any other caffeinated beverage. The SC is essentially lost on them, and they may also start changing up how they drink it, like whether they want it cold, whether they want it hot, things like that. But rarely would they do all of this at once like an ESP would. I mean, I certainly wouldn't. Like, that's too much chaos. I don't want to change one variable at a time. Now, if coffee is your hobby, then obviously this specific example wouldn't apply to you, but it's like the underlying concept that does. Like, SI and I are then all about control, then slowly letting in the chaos, like a bouncer at a club. Both can often sense the monotony of life, but unlike EPs who want the option of consistency, IJs on the other hand want the option of change. Based on the middle TF, they decide when to change, where to change, and how to change. Like an NI-DOM like can be stuck in their ways, like just as much as an SI-DOM. It's less noticeable since it's conceptual rather than sensorial, um, but nonetheless, it's there. Like take for me for example, growing up, I never wanted to try new foods because I didn't know what to expect or whether I liked them or not, and I didn't want to waste the energy, so I'd rather just eat the same four things I've always liked, which kind of sounds like an SI dom, but no, I can't ever point out like which like why I wouldn't like a food. Like it's weird. Like for the longest time, for example, like I resisted garlic. like raw garlic, eating raw garlic by itself, because that's like a cultural thing where I'm from. Because I didn't like its uncle, the onion, or its distant cousin, the bell pepper, and based on tangential information, I refuse to try it. But like on a whim earlier this year, I tried raw garlic, and jokes on me, it's delicious. Anyways, I don't have any SI DOMs in my family, but I think my dad's an INTP, like, and his tertiary SI is very evident in that he eats essentially the same five things he's always eaten when he was younger. Now in his later years, I don't understand this. I mean, like, I mean, food's food to me, but like the same five things. All right, whatever. Which brings me to my next point. SI as a function, juxtaposed by NE, is very thorough and rigorous in its dominant stack, like the first or the second one. Like, based on my experiences with like an ESFJ I met before lockdown, like it appears to me like SI is always running current reality against the vast archive of what the SI DOM has already experienced. NI, on the other hand, is much faster in this regard because NI is the distilled lump sum of the relevant SC experiences. The NE user, the NI user runs off like an abstract pattern that can detect anomalies faster, albeit like incredibly vague. Um, where like an SI DOM may take more time to compare contrast differences when they are done. They have all the receipts. NI DOMs are can fairly quickly detect that something is like off, like but will need to take the remaining amount of time to work backwards to pinpoint the specific differences. Like so, an SI DOM has no problem pulling all the receipts after it's taken time to go through them all. NI DOMs have no problem serving up the lawsuit, but will have to take the rest of the time to build up its case. Personally, as an NI user, like I fundamentally do not understand the SINE access. I see it, and it's alien to me. Like maybe it's a sign of hidden SE, but like sensory is all but a blur to me, and it's like all the same. Like the point of details are lost on me. I will only respect details so far as it serves the concept I'm trying to learn. Like take for example following a recipe. Like it's not my forte. I'm not good at it. The specific ingredients hold no particular meaning to me. I often find myself substituting ingredients or adding what I like on top of everything else because I like it, and I don't think the substitution or addition would take away from the overall concept of the recipe I'm making. Like, for example, if a recipe called for milk, I may substitute for heavy cream or half and half because I like the richer profile of it. Like, if I later come to find out that it's specifically whole milk that will make it taste the way it should be, then I will adjust as I've learned that whole milk is integral to the concept of the recipe instead of like heavy cream or half and half. But otherwise, like nothing really holds meaning to me. Like my EMP friends are often frustrated with me about this, which I think is an indication of their fourth function, SI, rather than just me being me. Anyways, however, like I do know that I don't mess with the sequences of a recipe. Like unlike my ASP friend who often rushes through recipes and skips steps or like adds additional ingredients way too early, I often don't really do this because depending on the recipe, the order of ingredients is integral to the concept. Like adding onions after browning meat would be detrimental to the flavor, so I would not do that. But my ISP friend sometimes would because they don't have any patience. Um, if a recipe calls for 4 hours of simmering to enrich the flavor, I would do that and wait, as that's important to the concept of the dish. While my ISP friend would not and serve the dish like 2 hours too early. I mean, in the end, it's all food. It tastes a little bit bland. Kind of missed the point, in my opinion, but I think that's where we differ, despite having the same axes. And like also, also like on another note about like NISC being very controlled in a very specific environment is that also while growing up, I did not like my food to touch. I'm sure like other functions also have their own weirdness. But for me, it's like I just did not like my food to touch because like then I can't control how things would mix. I can't control um, whether I thought my rice would go well with the sauce that let's say like the vegetables were sauteed in, I might not have liked those two together. So I want to taste them all separately and be able to control that. And if my food was touching, I mean, I wouldn't be externally very angry, but I would just have that look on my face of why is this happening to me? Like, I didn't want them to touch, and now it's touched, and now I'm gonna have to eat it, or else, like, my mom is not gonna let me out of, like, dinner time because I need to eat everything on my plate. I didn't want them to touch. I just want to eat them all separately so I can find out which of the things my mom made is my least favorite so I could get that over with so I can enjoy the stuff that I did like. Possibly together, possibly not. I mean, I guess like another point similar to this is when my friends and I go to like a Hispanic restaurant and we order like a dip, like those like dip trays where they give you like multiple like dips. Like you could have guac, you could have like this sour creamish dip thing, or you could have like queso. Um, one of my friends, not one of my friends, but like if someone was to like mix two of those things together, like if they wanted to mix salsa and guacamole together, I will riot. Like I will fight them. Like no, you don't get to do that. Like no, like they need to all be separate so I can decide like which two mix together. And like if you're fine with mixing all together, just scoop them out onto your own tray. Just like no, you need to leave this so I can control. I will stab someone over this probably. So this is why I don't eat with my this is why I don't eat with the ESTPs. I've only met one in my life, but I ran into a few during college, and I see the way that they eat, and I just no, I do not agree. Anyways, that's my thoughts right now on NI, NSI. Like I've come to the realization that maybe I'm an INTJ, but like not entirely sure. I'm still struggling to figure out the judging axes. But TFI runs in the family. My grandma, uncle, cousin, and I think my mom. But I know my grandma, uncle, and cousin are definitely all TJs, which is hilarious because I think my grandpa was an FJ and my dad is an INTP. So there's like two people in the family that runs on the TIFE axis, but everyone else are just TJs. But anyways, maybe I'll make a clickbait video. Am I an INTJ? Like another time. Well, whatever. But until next time. Like it's not that deep, guys. Catch you later, guys.